All right, well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Waite. I will be your instructor for these kinesiology courses that you're enrolled in. I'm creating this video as part of the live stream for the summer course, and I'm going to be using this as the recording as a welcome message for everyone. So if you're watching this and you're wondering, well, this is not summer, it's because this is the time that I recorded it. So welcome. Today I'm basically just going to go briefly through the breakdown of the course, how it's organized on Moodle, and some of the expectations that I have for you, and then also that Georgia Military College's global online college, what the expectations for this program is. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the Moodle page. I'm going to show the KIN 200 page, which is the introduction to kinesiology. This will be the same protocols for all the kinesiology courses that I teach. Just to give you a little bit of insight, most of the courses I design. So Georgia Military College hired me to work as a subject matter expert and design these courses. I did not design the introduction course, but I did design the other courses like structural kinesiology and bioenergetics and all that. So if you're taking one of the kinesiology courses, most likely I designed it. And so the format and the layout of the course will be the same. So I'm just going to show one page and just assume that it's going to look similar to all the courses. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen here. Let me just open this up all the way. So here is the front page of the Introduction to Kinesiology course. There's some resources on the side of the page here. I'm going to close this since yours may look different than mine. I'm in the instructor view right now. I'm just going to keep it in this view because I'm most familiar with it. So the student view may look a little bit different because you won't have all the, you won't see things that are hidden. So if you see like right here, the welcome video, normally this will show up. I had to take down the welcome video because that's why I'm redoing it, because some policies have changed in the last year for the global online college. So some of those policies I'm going to be going over. And so now this video will appear here. In most courses, you'll see a link to the live Zoom session, which is what this is being recorded on. Most instructors will set this up at whatever time is convenient for them and for students. Again, if you miss these sessions, they're not mandatory, but they're helpful because they give you an insight on what to expect from the class. But all instructors are required to record and post those. So you'll find that link there, and a recording will be uploaded there as well. Before I get into all the details of all this, let me just kind of start off by just saying there's a list of things we're going to go over. To start, I'll kind of talk about the overview of the Moodle page and how it flows. I'm going to talk about some of the student resources and what you should be aware of as a student, the things that you have access to help you be successful. How to contact me. I'll just go ahead and go over that right now. My email is right at the top of the page. All instructors should have their name and email at the top underneath the name of the course. So to contact me at any point in time during the semester, please email me using your student email account. So not a personal email, but your student email account, which should be at like the GMC accounts. So mine is swaite@gmc.edu, and that's just my first initial and last name. Most instructors are set up that way. So if you know their first initial and last name, you can email them with that same format. I do respond to emails very quickly. I get the emails on my phone throughout the day, all week long, and even on the weekends, I monitor them pretty well. So one thing I will say about communication is please do not wait until Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening to contact me and expect a response right away for something that's due that night. That's waiting too long. Please respect my time. I have a family, a young daughter and a wife, and so on Sundays we go to church and we do family activities. So most of the time I do log in the evenings and just to monitor to see what things have been turned in. Sometimes I'll grade things ahead of time. They've been turned in before the deadline. but I don't always respond on Sunday evenings if I'm busy with family. So just understand that I will respond on Saturdays. I set time aside on Saturdays to check email and respond to students and troubleshoot things. In the syllabus, I have posted that I have office hours that I designate to basically be available to communicate with you on Wednesday and also on Saturday. So you can see that in the syllabus. Other things we'll talk about, the news and announcements, I'll highlight that. Tutoring that's available online, the add and drop withdrawal processes, and then a few other nuances for week 1 and week 8, some differences in dates. Yeah, so those will be things that that I'll be highlighting here. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, so just to start, a couple things to pay attention to on the Moodle page. Everything flows in a module order, so in weekly order. So just to give you an overview of this, when you get on the page, you'll see the welcome information at the top, and then there'll be various links that are provided by your instructor. So I just have the Zoom live link, and then I'll post the recording later. Then there's the how to be successful in this course tab. These are just some tips that are provided in all courses at GMC, just to help you be successful. So you can click on that and check that out, and maybe you've seen it in other courses. And then the news and announcements. So this is where I'm going to be communicating with you every week. So I will post a weekly message every Monday, and sometimes throughout the week if I have something to update you with. I suggest checking that, and these should get forwarded to your email, your student account email, so be checking that. If you're not aware of a due date or something, you can always check the news announcements. I always post it in there, or you can go to the syllabus and look at the due dates in the syllabus, or just simply click on the assignment link and see the due date there. So if you have any questions about content, first check the news announcements, and if I haven't clarified it there, then feel free to shoot me an email, and then I'll help answer your question. The next thing to look at is the course syllabus. So please go through this. I'll click on it here to give you an idea what it looks like. The introduction page just kind of goes over who I am, what this class is, my office hours that I mentioned just a little bit ago. Again, with the office hours, I'm making myself available to communicate with you. Please also keep in mind that this time frame is different for you than it is for me. I live on the West Coast in California, so I'm 3 hours behind you. So I purposely put these hours for 1 to 2 p.m., which is the time I'm recording this, because it's 1 o'clock for you if you're on the East Coast, but it's 10 a.m. for me, so it's still morning for me. So I've set aside the mornings to be available for you, for everyone. If you need to communicate with me, I'm happy to do a Zoom call if you need to chat. I don't do phone calls. I don't hand out my cell phone number. I have an office number at the university that I teach at here in California, but I don't hand that out either to other colleges. So just if you need to get a hold of me, just shoot me an email at swaite@gmc.edu, and then we can set up a Zoom chat during these times if that's convenient, or we can set up a different time that we can discuss. So everything that you need to know about week 0 is in here. Week 1 requirements. One big thing I want to note for week 1 as you get started this week: if you cannot access anything, that's because you haven't taken the Participation Academic Honesty Verification Quiz, the PAHV. This is not a graded quiz, but you need to take this in order to get access and get 100% on it. It's not a difficult quiz. It's just asking you questions to make sure you're aware of your responsibility as a student before you get started in the class. You need to take that before you can gain access to week 1. Once you complete it, week 1 will pop up and you'll see it. So that's the first thing you should address before you get going with anything else. A couple other things here. The syllabus is all organized on the right-hand column over here. So there's a course description, kind of just talks about what this course is about. You can also click on the tabs here to go through things. Let's see, one of the big things to look at for this course would be to go to the schedule. Again, go through all this on your own time. I'm not going to show everything because this is what you should be looking on your own. But just I want to highlight that this course schedule shows the exact day that everything's due and the time. Now, there is actually one error here that I'll point out, and this will change depending on the semester. For week one, the initial responses are actually postponed. They're not due until Friday instead of Wednesday. So just take note of that. You have until Friday, and I may send out a reminder message just to clarify that. But everything else will be due on Sunday. Okay. And each week, the way that things are set up is you'll have one discussion forum, and that'll be due on Wednesday. And then your assignments will be due on Friday. And again, I'm showing the KIN 200 course. So if you're in any other of the kinesiology courses, you may see that there's different assignments. But regardless of the assignments that are listed, the due dates are the same. It's always going to be post by Wednesday, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday in the forum, and then take the quiz or turn in the assignment, depending on what's due that week, by Sunday. And everything is due by 11:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is Georgia time. Okay. Again, that's 11:55 p.m., not midnight, 11:55. So I'm pretty strict about due dates or due times and dates. If you don't turn it in before the deadline, you're going to lose credit. And if you have not looked at it already, let me go ahead and go to that. The late work policy, I did post that in the announcement. So if you go to the news announcements, a lot of this you won't see because I've scripted some of these. But I did post the late work and course policies, and I do this for all my classes. This is just a reminder of here's where you get your textbook, here's assignments and expectations and all that fun stuff. Here's the big thing though. My late work policy for all my courses is that if you don't submit things on time, it's automatically 25% deduction. That means I'm going to calculate what 25% of the total for that grade is. So if it's an assignment worth 30 points, which a lot of them are, I'm going to take away 25%. So you're going to automatically drop to 75%. Then I'm going to grade from there. So if you made more errors, then I'm going to deduct more from there. Okay. And you'll see that in the grading rubrics. I do use grading rubrics for all the assignments. So if you have a question about why you got something wrong, just look at the rubric and you'll see, I always leave some personal feedback, and then I'll mark the rubric and you'll see what area in the rubric you lost points. Okay. Again, if you have questions about this, go to the news announcements and you can find this message because it's stored in there. Okay, the next thing to touch on. So we went over news announcements, went over the success tab, went over the textbook information was listed there in the syllabus. So again, like that last message we just looked at, in fact, I'll go back to it. If you click on that link, this is also found in the syllabus, you will find the textbook listed for our course and you can access it there. Okay. If you have issues accessing the textbook, please use this number and call this service team. You can email me, but there's a good chance that I'm going to tell you to just contact them, because if you're having issues with technology, I can't troubleshoot it for you. I'm not a tech person. I'm a professor hired to teach this course. So I'm an expert in kinesiology, not an expert in tech. So you need to contact them. They're the ones that can help you. Okay. Okay, next thing to discuss would be the rubrics. If you go to the course rubrics, you'll see this is basically a breakdown of what the expectations are for each assignment and how I'm going to grade things. Please take a look here at this is the rubric that's being used for your discussion forums. If you're not meeting the expectation for discussions, you're going to get marked down according to this rubric. So I want to point this out. So just so you're aware that this is where a lot of students lose points, is in the discussion, because they don't follow the instructions. The first thing is you need to post your initial post by Wednesday each week. This week in week one, it's not due till Friday, but in the following weeks, you need to post by Wednesday evening at the latest, ideally earlier. And then you need to respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. However, not only do you need to have 2 replies, but you also need to contribute in the forum at least 2 days to earn full credit. So I suggest posting Tuesday or Wednesday, and then going back on like Friday or Saturday or sometime between Thursday and Saturday and responding to 2 students. I wouldn't wait until Sunday, because if you forget, there's no going back. I do not accept any late submissions for the discussion forums. The late policy of 25% deduction is only for assignments. So keep that in mind. If you post late in the discussion forum, I won't count it, because they close on Sundays and the new one opens on that Sunday evening for Monday. Content, really what I'm looking for here is word length and that you're staying on topic. As long as your grammar is good, and even if there's some grammatical errors, I'm not going to knock you down too much, but try and write professionally and properly. But the big thing here is the word count. I'm looking for at least 150 words in length. If it's less than that, you're automatically going to be deducted. Also, if your responses to classmates are less than 50 words, you're going to get deducted in this category. So 150 words in the initial post and a minimum of 50 for each post to your peers. And then if you post it on time. So and then really this is just referring to the initial post. If you post after Wednesday, you'll get deducted points. If you wait to post until Saturday, you'll get 0 for this category. Okay. There are rubrics for each project. So the ones I'm showing you now is unique to this course. So each course will have certain rubrics, but they probably look pretty similar to something like this. There'll be 2 rows of categories. One will be looking at like the quality of your content, and the other one will be like if you completed all the pages. Okay. And so I just start deducting points based on this rubric. All right, so that's the rubrics. Other resources, there's a student handbook. You can check that out. That gets updated periodically. There's a chat room. I don't really use this. This is mostly for you guys to communicate if you want to outside the discussion forums each week. If you would like tutoring, if you're struggling with coursework, please click on the Smart Thinking app or link, and you can set up tutoring there. There's great resources there. Any other student resources that you may want to investigate will all be linked here. So feel free to click on this link. It'll open up this page, and then you can enroll yourself, and then you'll get contacted by one of the managers here, and they'll help you out. Introduction forms, looks like there's one unread post in here. Hopefully you posted in here by now since we've started the course. This is mostly for week 0. If you have not posted to the intro, please do. I like to get to know you and know what you're all about. Those aren't necessarily graded, but I like to see that. And these are other resources that you won't see. But now in each week, so for this course, I have weekly notes that you can download. For the KIN 200 course specifically, we do this assignment throughout the next 8 weeks called a concept map. Those of you that are taking this course or have taken it, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know how to develop a concept map, please click on this link and download the file and read through it, and it shows you how to create a map. Okay, and that's something you're going to be adding to for the next 8 weeks. Again, going back to the PAHV quiz, if you haven't taken this yet, please do that, and then you'll gain access to week 1. You'll notice that you don't have access to anything else beyond week 1, and that's because each week I have them locked to open up by that Sunday evening, okay, or afternoon. So you'll see these won't open until Sundays. So please don't ask for me to open them early. I won't. I want you guys to focus on 1 week at a time. That's the policy for the course. Now, in each week, you'll see there's an overview of what we'll be doing, some learning objectives, and then reading materials. This will be the same for both courses. So this is the KIN 210 course as an example. Again, these are identical in the way they're formatted, but you'll see the learning concepts will be a little bit different. In both courses, I provide the chapter notes. In KIN 200, there's study guide notes and also regular notes. So it's kind of a little helpful. The study notes are helpful for preparing for the weekly quizzes. Okay. Not all courses are set up that way, but those are provided here. First thing to do in week 1, respond to the discussion forum. So a few of you have already responded, which is great. Remember that this in week 1, it's not due until Friday. So you have until Friday to complete this. But in most weeks, it'll be due Wednesday. Okay. And then you have 2 assignments due this week. So make sure you start working on those now. Whenever there is an assignment for a course, and I'll show this in both of these courses, The assignments will have a submission link and then also a uh, file that you need to download. So download the file first. So what you'll do is you'll click on this file, you'll download it, save it on your computer, then fill in by answering the questions in the worksheet. Make sure you answer every question and read the instructions, then save it with your name. So rename the file with your last name. Like you could put, 1 day physical activity worksheet _ and then I would put Waite, WAITE, or S Waite, and then save it that way. So when you submit it, I know that that's your file when I'm looking at it. It'll also have your name attached to it and everything, which is helpful, but it's a good habit to create. Okay, I think that just about covers all the resources and the weekly content. I mentioned earlier, if you want to get a hold of me, my email is sway@gmc.edu, and that's up here at the top. You can message me here on Moodle, and it gets forwarded to my email. But really, just the best thing to do is just email me from your GMC email account. Talked about tutoring opportunities. Next thing to talk about is drop and add withdrawal processes. There is a policy for online courses. If you're new to the online, this is the policy. If you do not attend for 12 days in a row, which means you don't submit any content, graded content, so the intro doesn't count. This is like if you submit something to the week 1 discussion forum, or you turn in one of the assignments or take a quiz, that counts as an activity that shows that you're present. If you do not submit anything for 12 days in a row, I will drop you from the class. Okay, that's just our college's policy. Okay. If at any point in time you feel like you need to withdraw from the class to take a W versus a poor grade, like failing a class, you have up until, I think it's 12 days before the course ends to withdraw, which is before at week 8. So keep that in mind. If at any point you want to withdraw, you need to contact me. If you have questions about that, shoot me an email and we can discuss it. But if you do not turn anything in for 12 days, you will be dropped. Okay. Also, please check with your financial aid and graduation coaches ahead of time if you make a decision that you want to be withdrawn. Because once you email me saying, Dr. Waite, please withdraw me, once I process it, you get dropped and there's no going back. So keep that in mind. I went over due dates and times already. So again, check the syllabus and the calendar for those due dates. Those are all updated on there. The only two dates that are different is this week 1, your initial post is due Friday. In week 8, everything is due Friday, not Sunday, because for this semester, and again, this may change for different semesters down the road, but this semester it happens that our week 8 ends on a Friday. So just check that when you get to week 8, be aware of that. I will send out a message reminding you. So just keep that in mind that week 8 has different due dates. Couple things, just my advice to you, treat this course like a weekly lecture. Even though it's online, oftentimes students that aren't successful in these courses, it comes down to the fact that they just check out until Sunday, which is a really bad habit. Do not procrastinate. It will affect your grade. Most students, I've never had a student fail any of my classes who turn things in on time. That's just the reality. If you turn things in on time, even if you don't give your best effort, you may skimp by with a C. I hope that you would give your best effort and get the most out of this class, which is why you're taking the course. But I would say 100% of the students that have not passed my courses is because they simply stopped turning things in or just turned everything in late. If you turn everything in late, you will not pass the course. So just giving you a heads up. My advice to you, check in 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe check in on like a Monday or Tuesday, post by Wednesday, check in again Friday or Saturday, and get everything submitted before Sunday. If you check in 2 to 3 times a week, you will meet the expectation. You will find better success that way. I recommend checking in every day and reading your textbook and staying ahead on materials. That will help a lot. Last 3 things just to highlight. Be sure to read the late policy. I'm not wavering on that. So please check the late policy. Communicate with me. If you have questions, email me. do not wait until Sunday to ask me a question about an assignment because I probably won't respond. Email me early in the week. Please engage in the forums. Be an active voice in there. I will post in there a few times a week. I read all of your posts, so know that I'm reading them because I'm grading them. So that's our way of interacting. Okay. I think that about sums it up. If you have questions about our course, feel free to shoot me an email. I am happy to answer any questions you have. Yeah, and I'm here to be a resource for you. So again, if you have questions, just let me know, and I will get to you soon. Let me stop my sharing here and pause the recording.